Sea of Thieves just announced the upcoming adventure, The Secret Wilds, which begins in-game tomorrow. They also announced a set of updates and fixes for the Season 8 PvP battle mode, which will be arriving in the patch alongside the adventure, as well as the latest Pirate Emporium update and new cosmetics that will become available in-game very soon. The expected changes to matchmaking, new changes to reputation gains, and even a fix for those pesky crate wall exploits are all coming with tomorrow's patch. They've even addressed the scenarios where players were coming up to find more than one ship waiting for them, and there are some other tweaks and changes worth mentioning, so stay tuned for that. Hello pirates, my name is Ellie and I post regular Sea of Thieves videos on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with the game, then remember to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I put up a new video. You can also join our Discord server over at ellieboot.com/discord, and you can follow me on Twitter at elliebootplays. Okay, so first up we have the new adventure, which is starting tomorrow. The Secret Wilds will see players continue to help Tasha and discover the secrets of Captain Briggsy's past. This new adventure starts tomorrow, the 19th of January, and will run until the 2nd of February. There will be a cinematic launch trailer released just before the adventure goes live, so for those of you who are following the story, don't worry, it is coming. Next up, the latest Pirate Emporium update is upon us, and this time around we have the Labyrinth Looter ship set, as well as the Labyrinth costume and emote. There is also a new Labyrinth weapon set, of which the sword is particularly nice, in my opinion. You can also get your hands on the awe-inspiring emote bundle and the Pocket Pebble emote. Lunar Festival pet costumes have returned for a limited time, and everyone can get the free Come Here emote from the Emporium starting tomorrow. Now, here's the big news, the changes to matchmaking and other fixes to the PvP battle mode introduced with Season 8. As expected, the matchmaking system will now allow for same faction battles if matchmaking for an opposing faction has taken too long. And cross-stamp migration is also now enabled, and so this essentially means that there will be a much wider player pool when searching for a battle. So in theory, this should mean that not only will matchmaking be faster, but also potentially there will be less scenarios where you're coming up against the same crews over and over, which has definitely been an issue players have been facing. There's going to be an increase in the reputation gained for a battle loss, which is an interesting change. I'll admit that if you go for a long fight of 20 or more minutes and it comes right down to the wire, it is very frustrating to gain such a small amount of allegiance should you lose. Hopefully this change will take a bit of that sting away. However, they have also made a decision to now grant allegiance reputation for battle loss for players who sink to the battle bounds. Prior to this update, players who were sailed or let their boat sail out of the battle bounds would receive no allegiance. After tomorrow's update, players will now be granted the same allegiance as a normal loss, even if their ship sinks to the battle bounds. Now, this change could be quite controversial, as I expect combined with the change that offers an increase to the reputation gains for losses, this could result in players farming losses to get to the curses by just sailing out of bounds repeatedly. However, in all honesty, if a player wants to do that, they're offering opposing crews an easy win, and so not necessarily negatively impacting anyone else's experience, so I guess that's up to them. My only concern is it devaluing the curses over time, because there will be players who will eventually get the curses potentially without having ever won a fight. But given how long it will still take a player to do this, perhaps they deserve the curses for that much dedication to losing. It's still going to be much faster and more efficient to win battles, and so hopefully this won't become a problem that affects the mode. If anything, it could help the health of the mode because more players are likely to participate, knowing that they'll gain allegiance rep regardless of how they sink. A strategy that has been used very successfully for a lot of players, particularly in solo and duo mode, is to camp a crew while sailing their boat out of zone. It's probably a good thing that this has been addressed because at least now players will get some allegiance for their time. Rare have also increased the amount of Reaper's Bones reputation that you gain while sailing as a Servant of the Flame with a Reaper's Bones emissary flag raised. I did see recently a screenshot from a player where they had reached level 100 allegiance but had still not reached level 75 Reapers, and so apparently this was an issue for newer players, And of course, it would mean that they weren't able to enter the new Reaper's Lair hideout area, despite having earned 100 allegiance with Servants of the Flame. I would assume that this means they've increased the reputation gains to ensure that players who reach level 100 allegiance with Servant of Flame will also reach 75 Reapers if they regularly use emissary flags to boost their gains. The next notable change is the increase to battle locations. Prior to this update, players were limited to just 6 battle locations, and we all hate the one in the Raw. However, after tomorrow's update, there will be a massive increase to 50 battle locations. This is a huge change which will see a lot more variety in locations for fights, and they also said that these locations will be closer to outposts, and so players wanting to quickly hand in flags and potentially loot will be able to do so before being invaded or diving again. Players will no longer be able to gain allegiance unless they are one of the 2 battling ships in a battle zone. Essentially, this means you'll no longer gain allegiance if you interfere with a battle that's taking place within a battle zone. Only the 2 ships within that zone will gain the allegiance experience. This change was made to try and deter the alliance-style wind farming that was happening across the seas, and we're seeing solo players come up against multiple ships during fights. You'll still be able to interfere with a fight. You are in adventure mode, of course, so anything goes, but you won't gain any allegiance for sinking a ship that's in a battle with another ship. Of course, after the battle zone fight has concluded and the losing crew has been migrated away, then you're free to fight and gain your allegiance in a more organic way. This will obviously reduce the number of unbalanced battles that are happening on the seas and should deter the alliance cheesing. Another fix was for a recent exploit that was discovered where players were stacking walls of storage crates either side of their cannon line, and in some cases up their mast to block cannonball damage. This exploit has been patched and so is no longer something players can do. Another change which wasn't mentioned but has been confirmed on Twitter by Andrew Preston is that storage crates are now going to only be 5,000 gold. That's down from 17,500, a change which is very welcome from someone who is always the one buying supplies. So there you have it, a whole host of changes, fixes and updates for the Season 8 PvP mode. We'll have to wait and see how these changes pan out and what the matchmaking times are after tomorrow, but I'm super hopeful that these changes will do wonders for this game mode. What do you think of the changes? If you're a player who perhaps gave up on the game mode, are the changes to Lost Reputation and matchmaking enough to get you back into the mode? Let me know down in the comments. Tomorrow the servers will go offline at approximately 10 AM UTC, and after this a patch will be available to download, and then when the servers come back online, the new adventure and all the changes above will be live. If you found this video helpful, then please do leave a like, and if you're not already, then please do subscribe for more Sea of Thieves content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the seas.